fight on Mother's Day, it's just such a special day at Major League ballparks. You get to see guys break out the pink bats and the pink batting gloves and the pink bases.
It's like the only time it's acceptable in a game of baseball to wear anything you want pink.
Mother's Day has always been special to me because my mom is the most important woman in my life.
My mom had breast cancer, and she's a survivor, and to be able to represent her and know that the fight that she went through, it's something I'm proud of.
Mother's Day is kind of a big thank you to her for getting me to all those Little League games growing up.
Everyone loves their mom. You go out there representing your mother. It's an amazing feeling.
My first Major League home run came on Mother's Day, which is a good thing and a bad thing because my mom expects a home run every single time.
It's just a time to reflect on how hard your mom is working your life to help get you to the position that you're in.
My mom had a lot to do with where I am today. She was the one that taught me the lessons in life.
Women are very important in our household, so thank you for all you do.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and it's Mother's Day. No better place to spend it than at the ballpark. And this afternoon, we're at PNC in Pittsburgh. It's the Pirates and Cardinals rubber game on Fox Sports Midwest. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there throughout Cardinals Nation. That's Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And we have seen an uptick in this offense, especially the last week or so.
It really happened. And you can talk about this series. Both teams have been offensively minded. Maybe that is good for the Cardinals, and hopefully the problems that the Pirates have had against left-handed pitching will hold true today for Tyler Lyons.
It's a beautiful afternoon here in Pittsburgh. It's Mother's Day. The families are out. Jeff Locke and Tyler Lyons. Baseball comes your way next. Is brought to you by Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. and visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. Oh, what a gorgeous afternoon we have from PNC Park here in Pittsburgh. It is perfect for baseball. Happy Mother's Day. You'll see many of the players either wearing the pink wristbands, some have pink spikes, using pink bats, and that's for breast cancer awareness. What a great day this is, huh?
Beautiful day, beautiful setting, perfect day to have win the rubber game and win another series for the Redbirds.
The Cardinals off to this historic start, one of the greatest starts in franchise history in St. Louis. 14-3 at home, 8-5 on the road, 22-8 overall, and the lead is 6.5 in front of Chicago, 8 already in front of Pittsburgh. And I realize it's early and there's plenty of time to make up ground, but these kind of games do factor in later in the season when you're trying to play catch-up.
Absolutely. The Cardinals had beaten Pittsburgh 7 straight times before losing last night, and they've got a great opportunity to win this ball game, and it's a very important start for Tyler Lyons.
Marco Gonzalez made a rehab start yesterday at AAA. Today it'll be Jaime Garcia. The Cardinals this season, a total of 9 series. The one that was tied was the game that was, well, lack of bathrooms, cold weather, maybe a little rain in Chicago, so they only played 2 games there. That was a split. Every other series they have won.
And they're going to make that game up as part of a day-night doubleheader in Chicago on what, July 7th?
July 7th. It'll be a double dip and day-night doubleheader. Day game at 12:20. The nightcap to follow at 7:05. A look at Mike Matheny's lineup. Peter Borges will lead it off and play center field. Colton Wong, red hot. He'll bat second, play second. Matt Holliday has been on base in 29 consecutive games to start the year. He's in left. Johnny Peralta homered in game 1 of this series. Yadier Molina, Matt Adams, Mark Reynolds, Jason Hayward batting 8th, and Tyler Lyons, the pitcher, batting 9th. When he's right, and you just don't know from start to start, he's very good. That's Jeff Locke, a record of 2-2 in 5 starts this year.
You know, when you talk about when he's right, and a lot of that has to do, can he get inside to the right-handed batters? He tries to keep you honest by coming into them and then getting you out with his changeup away. He also has a knuckle curveball, but he can ill afford to pitch in the middle of the strike zone.
So it's a pair of lefties today. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Jeff Locke. The fastball, changeup, and you mentioned the knuckle curve. The Pirates defensively in this ball game for Clint Hurdle's club. Brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Marte, McCutchen, and Rodriguez in the outfield. Gong is at third base. Mercer at short. Harrison at second. Corey Hart, his first start against the Cardinals this year. He'll be at first base. Francisco Cervelli behind the plate. And Jeff Locke is on the mound.
Both these teams, Dan, have struggled facing left-handed pitching. Cardinals are hitting .237 as a team. Pirates, hard to believe, they're going .192 as a team against left-hand pitching. Hopefully that'll bode well for Tyler Lyons.
So here's Peter Borges to start in center field. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. Peter off to a good start. 343. And there's a strike. Home plate umpire is Jordan Baker. Andy Fletcher is at first. Jerry Meals, the crew chief, and Paul Emmel. Normally it's Yadier Molina who gets booed the loudest in this ballpark. Well, that distinction went to Jerry Meals before every game, because Jerry Meals was the umpire, you may remember, a few seasons ago that had the issue in Atlanta, and it was a 19-inning game, and he blew the call at the plate, and after that the Pirates went into a tailspin, and these fans have not forgotten that.
I've noticed that he got booed every time. Now I know why.
And it's a leadoff walk for Peter Borges, who has 4 stolen bases, and we'll see how the Cardinals want to play this and be aggressive early on.
We talked about how Locke likes to come in on the right-handed batters, and it looked like Jordan Baker's strike zone is not very expansive in that area. So that could also force him to throw more strikes, and that'll bode well for the Cardinals.
Here's Colton Wong. A 7-game hitting streak. Peralta has a 7-game streak. Molina at 6. Holiday at 5. So furthers your point about the offense in the open really taking up a notch or two as Wong trying to bunt early on.
Colton has a 7-game hitting streak, hitting very well during that time. And he also has hit .346 against left-handed pitching.
Overall, his average at .336, and that is 7th best in the National League. Popped up, left side, foul territory, and the catch is made. Missouri Lottery Fox tracks as we take a look at the previous pitch.
Try to get in on him, and it does. You elevate that ball a little bit, get the pop up. Pitch down and in favors the hitter, but a pitch up will tie up the left-handed hitter. And this guy is just smoking the ball right now.
Is he ever? Holiday with a home run in game 1. That was a 3-run shot. 4 for 9 in this series. And he hits into a double play. 4-6-3. Nifty footwork out there by Jordy Mercer, the shortstop. Tyler Lyons to start today when we come back. United States. Gorgeous place. Harrison, Gung, and McCutchen here in the first. Then Marte, Hart, Mercer, Rodriguez, Cervelli, and the pitcher Locke batting ninth. Big start in many ways for Tyler Lyons. Last time out, no decision against the Cubs as he went 4 1/3. We saw a very good breaking ball, but a lack of location with the fastball.
And it's so important. Fastball command is something that a lot of people have trouble with today, and that should be the simplest thing. To be able to locate your ball up and in, down and in, down and away, up and away. But it seems like today there's so emphasis on the off-speed pitch.
First pitch taken high and away by Josh Harrison, who's in the leadoff spot, really struggling to start this season at 178. Had the day off yesterday, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Mark Reynolds a start at third base today. We hope to see Matt Carpenter Tuesday night in Cleveland. 1-2.
Good change up there by Tyler Lyons. He must spot his fastball, and like you said, he's got the good breaking ball, and his changeup can be very effective. Harrison has had trouble with, or has had success against Lyons, 5 for 8, a double and a triple, but this year batting 111 against left-handed pitching.
And the 2-2 pitch. Lyons just steps off the mound, tries to collect himself.
Got to throw strikes.
3-2. We'll do it again. Tyler Lyons, a third-round pick in 2010. And the first-round pick for the Cardinals that year was Zach Cox, who was a third baseman from Arkansas. Eventually was traded for Edward Mujica.
Yeah.
Mujica has been traded from the Boston Red Sox to the A's. Back to Lyons. Underhands to Matt Adams. And that's the first out. Hyundai pitch arsenal for the lefty Tyler Lyons.
See the fastballs that he throws that he can't pitch in the middle of the plate. He doesn't have that high octane. The slider's going to be coming into the right-handed batters, and then he's got the curveball. He's got a changeup too that could be very effective. But he just needs to throw strikes, work ahead in the count.
Here is Gung, the third baseman, who's quickly becoming one of your favorite players. You really like what you've seen.
You know, I've really noticed what the South Koreans have done pretty good baseball. This Gung has opened our eyes to what he's done against the Cardinals offensively.
Look at this. Out to deep left, and it's 1-0. Pittsburgh. He has 2 home runs in the major leagues. Both have been against St. Louis.
Gung is now 6 for 12 on this homestand. They third base last night. They tried to go in, but that ball is right in the middle of the plate, and he just turns on it.
Andrew McCutchen now.
I think they did their scouting in South Korea. Gung is really maybe after a slow start, he's really picked it up.
4 years, $11 million contract. The Cardinals were linked to him as well. Many teams had interest, and he signed eventually with Pittsburgh. McCutchen is batting .220, no balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, and a 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh here in the bottom of the first. First strikeout for Tyler Lyons. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Cardinals defense today: Holiday, Borges, and Hayward in the outfield. Reynolds at third, Peralta at short, Wong and Adams on the right side of the infield, Yadier Molina behind the plate. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers defense. Starling Marte, who has been red hot.
Came out of the game yesterday with dizziness.
Leads their club in home runs, RBIs. 7 home runs, 21 he's driven in. Also leads in strikeouts. But he is the combination, like McCutchen, of power and speed. And a ground ball to the right side. The Pirates' third baseman has given them an early lead. 1-0 after 1 inning of play. Trevor Rosenthal, and now a home run off of Tyler Lyons. So 2 home runs in the big leagues, both against St. Louis, and a 1-0 lead. Here's Johnny Peralta, and he takes a ball. Gung, by the way, at the Korean Baseball Organization last year, 40 home runs, 117 RBIs as a shortstop. And sometimes, and Clint Hurdle was talking about this before the game, it takes those players that come from overseas to play here in the big leagues just a little bit to catch up. But when they do, you start to see their talents, and he feels he could be an everyday player.
Well, I think I remember when Chan-Ho Park came over, one of the first Koreans, that they didn't play on an everyday basis. And so, you get acclimated to the major league scene is a little bit new to them also. I have to take you over to South Korea. Been up on the DMZ, and
you've been everywhere. The well-traveled Al Rabaski. A high fly ball, right center, and there's McCutcheon. Let's turn to Hungo's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, Locke's one of those guys that doesn't have overpowering stuff, so you have to take advantage of every pitch that's in the strike zone. Remember, try to get him to where he'll leave some pitch in the middle of the plate up. And also, you got to talk about Tyler Lyons. He's got to be aware of Marte. He got Marte out to end the inning, and Marte is now 1 for 5 against him, or 1 for 6 against him. But he's hitting .500 with 4 home runs against left-handed pitching this year.
Here's Molina, and he pulls it foul to Jose Oquendo. Makes that play easily. Secret weapon. He doesn't miss many, does he?
No, he doesn't. Still got good hands.
Smooth down there. And in good shape again, too.
Yeah, he got that knee taken care of and was able to lose some weight getting back to running.
Told me he was doing 2 days ago. He ran 3 miles, and it was right around 7.5, 8-minute miles. That's moving pretty good. There's Gung. 2 down.
I would say that's a little better pace than what we heard Mike Helling's mile rate.
Mike Helling, our producer, said he ran for 50 minutes yesterday and maybe registered 2 miles. Here's Matt Adams. So here's the shift. And in the clubhouse yesterday, asking Matt about the shift, he said, I don't even pay attention to it. I can't worry about it. And he said, to follow up that point, he said, I'm not sure why teams do this to me. And I gave him those numbers we talked about last night. Very good against the shift. He said, I've always hit to all fields. Always.
That's it. He's always talked about, I try to hit the ball where it's pitched. And right now, he's in a little slump. 0 for his last 14. But we know he can break out of that real quick and go on a tear. Streaks follow streaks.
See, on the other side, you've got Chris Maloney, who's also, look at that. Boop. Takes it right in.
Good form.
Absolutely. Here's a 1-2. Tied him up, and a strikeout of Adams. First strikeout for Jeff Luck. 1-0 midway through 2.
That good, Dan, but you guys were wondering about it when John Jay was double switched out of last night's game. Mike Matheny telling us John was dealing with a left thumb issue. Mike saying it's a bruise that John has just been fighting through for some time. Mike says for some reason it could have been during an at-bat. It really started to flare up. John wasn't going to be able to grip a bat. They're giving him the day, according to Mike, and John says he just wants Jay to rest it, but he's hoping that he can use John somewhere in the game today if he needs to.
Here is Corey Hart. Jim, before we say goodbye to you, and you'll check in later, but you know, everybody around baseball is curious what's going on with Matt Carpenter. Any update with him today with Mike Matheny?
I think Mike Matheny said it best when he said they're just going to back off. They're leaving Matt alone. They want him to not think about baseball, to get away from it, and I think they just want to give him some time. So we're not going to get an update, and they're hoping that he'll be good to go when we start playing games in Cleveland on Tuesday.
That'll be Tuesday night. Thank you, Jim. Swung on and missed by Hart, and strikeout number 2 for Tyler Lyons.
So far, so good. Other than home run, there's that good breaking ball, and it's imperative for him to start it out like not waist high and let it break down below the strike zone.
Talking with Tyler the other day, he said the curveball was always there for him in high school. He developed the slider while in college when he played at Oklahoma State. And he is from Lubbock, Texas, which is the town that Texas Tech is located in. I said, why not stay in and be a Red Raider? And he said, I needed to get out on my own. But also, the pitching coach of Texas Tech at the time became the head coach at Oklahoma State. And he had worked with Lyons, so he went off there to become a Cowboy, and he was a great high school football player as well. And
All-State.
Yeah, and he said, you know what, there's so many good kids that come out of the state of Texas. I wasn't big enough, but I always felt that my path to college and beyond, if I was lucky enough, was going to be baseball, and that's why he chose that, even though he said he preferred football over baseball. There's a high fly ball off the bat of Jordy Mercer, backing up a few steps. Matt Holliday, and he puts it away for the out. Next time you're looking for great seats, get to StubHub. On StubHub, you can grab Cardinals tickets all season long, even at the last minute, and even if the game is sold out. So get to StubHub today. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of your St. Louis Cardinals.
Tyler was a quarterback in high school, and he was All-State in the state of Texas.
Have you ever been to Lubbock? You've been everywhere.
I've been to Lubbock.
Been there numerous times. Called Big 12 action. The Red Raiders, Al, of Texas Tech.
I don't know if I'm excited about going back to Lubbock.
I can tell you I'm not. You can think about it. I know. I'm not. I want to turn that thing around for the full effect of the side. So here's Sean Rodriguez, who's in right field. Johnny Rodriguez, his father, is in his first season as the manager of State College and 6th year in the Cardinals organization. The Spikes, Class A. They won a championship last year.
Well, we mentioned that Rodriguez is really a guy that's been around a while. He's 30 years of age, but primarily in the American League. And just in the few games we've played against the Pirates, he's hit the Cardinal pitching very well and can play all over the diamond.
Ooh, just missed and taken for a ball. First walk issued by Lyons. 2-out walk, and it brings in Francisco Cervelli. Now, you talked about it. This is a big start for Tyler, who's had multiple chances. He was up and down with the club 4 different stints last year. You know Garcia and Gonzalez are getting close, so this is very important for him today.
Well, I think realistically, you're still a minimum of 2 weeks away for even Marco Gonzalez and Jaime Garcia even further. But you're absolutely right. He's got a chance to impress. All he's got to do is remember what he did in his first 2 big league starts. He was outstanding, winning both of those. And then he has not won since that time. We're talking about what, May of 2013?
Right. 2 outs and another check on Rodriguez. By the way, Johnny Rodriguez had spent so many years with the Yankees. 17. Then he was with the Expos and coached at the University of Miami, Miami-Dade Community College, which is a terrific JUCO. Produced a lot of baseball players. 1 ball, no strikes, and I'm sure Johnny is watching today and very proud of his son. Nice man. I've talked to him many times down in spring training.
And not the J-Rod of a few years ago.
No, sir. I saw J-Rod in spring training.
Did you really?
Yes. He was coaching in independent ball.
Oh, good. John Rodriguez, but different.
Two balls, no strikes. Lyons, nice play. Knocks it down, settles, throws, and gets the out. That takes away a hit from Cervelli. Lock left on deck. 1-0 after 2. Special theme ticket to Bud Bash and get an exclusive bobblehead and autographs from the 1985 nationally champion Cardinals. Don't miss Todd Worrell May 26th. For a full schedule of players or to purchase tickets, visit cardinals.com/budbash. 82, 85, 87. Really got it going again in St. Louis, didn't it?
Yeah, they're fun times. Whitey ball. That's battles with the Pirates back in those days too, didn't we?
Sure did. T-Mobile game changer. This series, the numbers. Both teams have pitched well this year. The Cardinals have hit much better overall this season. And that's really one of the major differences between the two teams. And as you pointed out as well, the bullpen.
Well, and they, remember last weekend, runs were hard to come by. This weekend, there's been a lot of runs, but the pitching staff's ERA hadn't taken too bad a hit.
Here's Mike Reynolds. Been a tough series for Francisco Cervelli, the catcher of the Pirates. He's had a lot of those foul balls hit him. And here he is warming up Jeff Locke. Yep, that kind of series.
Catch the ball before you throw it.
He was fired up after he didn't catch that too.
Yeah, they're saying this is the first time he's caught a day game after a night game, Cervelli.
3-1 the count on Reynolds. Slowly hit, locked backhands, and makes the play.
Locke tries to do these right-handed batters, get in on them, jam them, and then will later on in the at-bat set up for a change-up or something down and away.
You're talking about some of those battles that the Cardinals had, and it carried over to Tony La Russa and Lloyd McClendon.
Oh, yeah.
When they had down years here in Pittsburgh. At one point, Dave Duncan in a fist fight before one of the games.
Right here in Pittsburgh.
It was Gerald Perry.
Gerald Perry took exception, one of the coaches.
You knew times are rough when Tyke Redmond was your starting center fielder. Ronnie Paulino was your catcher.
He was the favorite of the truck, Paulino.
Jack Wilson, the shortstop, who was a good defender. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hayward, but they've turned things around. They've gone back into the international market, made a couple of signings, drafted well.
Dan, I think it really bodes well for the parity in baseball and just how good the financial house is in order now. Remember, they used to sign top draft picks. You know, they wouldn't go after the best player. They would go after somebody that they knew they could sign for cheap money. And 20 years of losing, but that's all been turned around, and it's good to see in Pittsburgh.
3-2 pitch. Ground ball slowly hit. Tough play here. Gloved and not in time as Hayward beats it out. Infield hit. And the Cardinals have their first hit this afternoon.
Shift on that was Jordy Mercer, the shortstop, fielding this ball. So he comes in and tries to flip it with a glove, and Hayward, with that good speed, beats it out. Put your head down and run. Tyler helped his own cause here.
By the way, congratulations to our very own Pat Paris, because Pat missed a couple of games over the weekend, and his daughter Miranda graduated from Iowa State. So nice job, Miranda, and congratulations to Pat.
Yeah. Very nice.
Bunted in the air and caught. Back to the bag at first goes Hayward. Fox Sports Midwest is joining with Cardinals Care to benefit reviving baseball in the inner cities. You can help too by golfing in the Ted Savage RBI Golf Classic on June 9th. Cardinals alumni join with golfers on the course, and foursomes are available but going quickly. Find the details at cardinals.com/RBI Golf. So Pat has his daughter graduating from Iowa State, and I'm excited because I'm going to a graduation as well. However, Al, that's for my twins graduating kindergarten.
Very nice.
Pat is doing backflips as the bills stop coming in, and I just think about what college may cost in a few years. And you've been through that, Al.
Well, Tiffany graduates next week from law school.
Congratulations.
Today's Lisa's birthday.
Happy birthday to Lisa Raboski. And a high fly ball off the bat of Borges into right center. McCutchen makes the catch. And we're midway through 3. Beautiful afternoon. Happy Mother's Day. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Jung Ho Gung, and his second home run against the Cardinals this year.
He must like Sundays.
Here is Jeff Locke, traded by the Braves to Pittsburgh, along with Charlie Morton, who is coming back from injury, and Gorkys Hernandez. Nate McLouth was part of that deal. It's been a good one for Pittsburgh.
Sure has. Klaus signed a long-term contract, and shortly thereafter they traded him to Atlanta. He's had his problems since then.
And a strikeout, and Lyons has 3 strikeouts first time through. Hey, a reminder, you can get St. Louis's 2 favorite destinations for just one great price. It's the Cardinals Six Flags Double Play Combo. Double Play Combo. That includes a ticket to a Cardinals game and a one-day pass to Six Flags St. Louis. Get yours now at cardinals.com/Six Flags. Harrison trying to bunt his way on and figure out any way to get on. All-star last year, nearly won the batting championship, and Clint Hurdle is trying every which way to get him going. Different spots in the lineup, everything.
He signed that big contract, and I'm sure he's struggling trying to live up to it. And a few years ago, I had a general manager made a statement to me that I found shocking. He said, after I sign a player to his first big contract, I throw away that first year. Don't expect them to do much
because they put pressure on themselves.
Put pressure on themselves. I thought it was maybe the pink bat, the pink shoes.
Remember when Matt Holliday, it's forgotten now, but he signed at the time the richest contract in Cardinals history. And I know he felt a lot of pressure, and I've talked to him about it. And he said it took a long conversation with Scott Boras, his agent, to kind of calm him down, start thinking about the game differently. Ground ball to short. There's Peralta, 2 down. But that year, 2010, Holliday got off to a slow start, and he said it was all the contract. He said it's all I could think about, trying to justify the numbers.
It's kind of self-inflicted. And we've talked about in the past where an organization just says, hey, just put up the numbers you've been doing. That's all we're asking you to do is just repeat what your normal year is. And yet, and of course I would rather have a guy feeling that way than saying, hey, I'm happy I'm going to the bank, and 1st and 15th I'm the happiest guy in the world. But just stay within yourself.
Jung Ho Gung. 2 balls, no strikes. Line drive home run his first time up. To the bleachers in left field. 3-0.
Been a pretty good week for Gung. This homestand, he's now 6 for 12 with a home run. He was 2 for 4 last night. Got a 4-game hitting streak, batting over 500. He doesn't call time very well, does he?
It's the second time he's done that. Friday night he tried to call time and step out, wasn't granted, and went right down the middle for strike 3. He didn't like that one bit.
Now this one, at least he was in the batter's box, and it does catch a piece of home plate.
Lines to short, picked by Peralta on the backhand, and he throws a strike to Matt Adams. Wong, Holiday, Peralta coming up. 1-0. Long home run for Gung. And the pitching has been very good outside that long home run on both sides. 1-0 Pittsburgh.
We talk about both these teams have struggled against left-handed pitching, and it's wore out in the early going.
Here is Colton Wong. He'll lead it off. My mom, Jane, happy Mother's Day. She never misses a broadcast with Al Rabowski, I can tell you that. My wife, Libby, and probably her 9th sporting event of the day. And probably not watching, but happy Mother's Day anyway.
And I've already talked to June and wished her a happy Mother's Day.
Pretty amazing when you talk to the players, and Tyler Lyons comes to mind about visiting with him the other day, and he said, I can't believe now that I'm older and can realize this, but I can't believe how much he used to drive me around to all the Little League games, all the practices. All these guys, without their moms, would not be in the big leagues, you would have to say, because of all the time and the commitment into practice.
And there was a time where a lot of baseball players, their sons.
It's a ground ball foul.
And even the ones that reached the big leagues, they were pretty much taught by their moms the game of baseball, because dads didn't have the freedom that they have today, to where a lot of managers allow the kids to be around the clubhouse and be involved. It's great to see, Holiday's kids as often as we do, watch them progress.
3-2. Wong with a fly ball down the right field line and out of play.
There's no such thing as bereavement leave, where players can go home and watch the birth of their kids. You just were lucky if it was scheduled right, where you would be at home when that happened.
Wong retired. Holiday hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Yeah, Borges was on paternity leave, and there is the bereavement list. Now you have the 7-day concussion list, which was not part of the game a few years ago. They're trying various ways to take care of the players as much as they can.
Remember during my playing days that you had a disabled list, but it was only 21. It was 21 days. That made a big difference.
The 2-0 pitch inside to Holiday. Swinging away on 3-0 and a ground ball to second. He in the driver's seat. Continue the theme of the offense of the St. Louis Cardinals, matching some of the pitching that has gotten off to a historic start. But most hits National League this year, the Cardinals 287. We have San Diego, Miami, and Arizona.
Came in with a 274 batting average as a team.
Peralta with a fly ball into center field. McCutchen puts it away. Jeff Locke is locked in. Midway through 4, Pirates on top. with Jim Hayes. Jimmy, you had the chance to visit with Lance Lynn on the pregame.
Big part of the Cards' success this season. I asked Lance about it on the pregame show. He told me every starting pitcher took it as a personal challenge to be better once Waino went down with the Achilles. He says it kind of helps starters stay locked in. I also asked him about the possibility of a 6-man rotation, which has been discussed and which Bernie Miklasz wrote about today. He told me 5-man rotations have been around for a long time for good reason. He said he prefers staying on a 5-man schedule, but there are ways to spread out the innings for some guys while keeping guys like Ham and Lackey going every 5th day. By the way, Lance was an absolute delight on the pregame show, Dan.
Oh, I'm sure. He's always giggly. By the way, I get a kick out of him. He is one of my favorites. Lance Lynn. We always, Jim and I always say, Lance, you're just a delight to be around. Bubbly, giggling. That's what he does with us. He just gives us a little bit of that and walks off.
I just think that's part of his demeanor, especially in the day he pitches. And
he's
that's
great.
Fine. Remember, even Lackey says, I'm a nice guy for 4 days.
Sure.
The day you pitch, you can take on your own personality.
I was talking with Lance the other day. I said, what do you think about the DH? And that's his next start in Cleveland and dealing with the DH. And he said, I don't like it. I like National League style of baseball. Plus, I like to hit.
I think it's a much better game in the National League.
0-2 pitch. McCutchen struck out his first time.
We'll be playing under American League rules starting Tuesday night. Fans don't get the chance to second guess nearly as much.
The reality is, in my mind, National League teams are at a disadvantage going to an American League park. The American League team is paid the DH an awful lot of money to be one of the top premier hitters in their lineups. And the Cardinals or any National League team does not have that.
But, I turn around the other way. I think every team can find somebody to fulfill that DH role. Now, maybe not comfortable with it, but the American League club is really at a disadvantage when it goes to the National League city and they lose one of their biggest bats.
Line to short. There's Peralta.
Pitcher has to hit, something he's unaccustomed to. And
I'm with you. I prefer National League style of baseball. Unfortunately, I'm hearing more and more, I think, a groundswell of support nationally that the National League would incorporate the DH. I hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see. You have an interleague game every day, and so you're trying to make it as fair and balanced as you can.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think it's a bad idea to take away all the strategy that you have in a National League game. But you're right. If it ever was up to a vote, the Players Association would definitely, I think, would be overwhelmingly in support of the DH.
Extending careers, big contracts.
And a lot of people forget the DH really started as almost a gimmick for the American League because attendance was so much inferior to the National League. But to take an aging star, sometimes it was a guy like Cepeda or Oliva that had leg problems, and you could extend them because they could kind of hit and drag a leg across the base paths, but they couldn't play a position anymore.
Tough play here. Lyons fires to first and throws it away. Marte on his way to second, now on his way to third.
I believe they're going to give him a single, and then the error sends him all the way to third. No crow hop, wild throw, no chance for Adams, and Marte can really run. Ball gets it down the line there, and then they can coast all the way over to third base.
Infield is drawn in for Corey Hart. the ball girl sits on a stool down there, and I think it hit the stool, and that's when Marte had slowed up just a little bit and then turned it back on to go to third. Hart struck out first time up. And he takes ball one.
We said in the open that Toyota Keys that Lions had to be careful with Marte, but I wasn't thinking that was the way that Marte was going to hurt him.
One ball, one strike. Cardinals are looking for their first series win here at PNC Park since April of 2012. One ball, two strikes.
That's 2 strikes now. If he could put them away via the strikeout. Hart done a nice job as a pinch hitter for the Buccos. They have 4 pinch hits as a team. He has all 4 of them. They have 1 home run and 5 RBIs, and Hart has done all that damage as a pinch hitter.
Reynolds is near the line at third. They anticipate him to pull. Adams way off the line. Doesn't matter. A strikeout for Lions. A big one. And that's number 4. Edward Jones is pleased to sponsor the Hall of Fame and the annual induction process that gives fans a voice in honoring the team's greatest players. 2015 induction class has been selected. The Cardinals and Edward Jones congratulate the newest members of the Cardinals Hall of Fame: Kurt Flood, George Kissel, Ted Simmons, and Bob Forge.
Exceptional class.
Ground ball pulled foul off the bat of Jordy Mercer. Boy, that's a big strikeout there for Lions. Let's see if he can't pitch out of the jam.
You can't strike somebody out until you have 2 strikes on him, but you got to that point, get that runner at third base. That is a time that, you know, a strikeout is crucial and very important.
No balls and 2 strikes.
You got to really bow your neck here. You put yourself in a jam by your own making with the throwing error. Get out of this one.
Lions a lot sharper, better pace.
Just saying the same thing. Controlling the strike zone. Walked 1, but only giving up the 2 hits.
Here's a 1-2. Two and 2. Struck out 4. He's walked 1. He's giving up 2 hits, the home run and an infield hit to Starling Marte, who stands at third base. The 2-2. It's sharply to third, knocks down Reynolds, and a run will score. A hanging breaking ball. Mercer destroyed it. Nothing Reynolds could do. And it's a base hit RBI.
Almost Reynolds made that catch from the seat of his pants and caught the ball after it hit his glove, popped in the air and almost makes a play. But you're right, the hanging breaking ball, you see his pants, he tried to reach out and grab it. You get a better look right here. Knocks it up, but
he did save an extra base hit.
Yes.
So the RBI, and now it's Rodriguez. That's to the backstop. Mercer on his way to second base. May see a visit here with Yadier Molina, just trying to calm down Tyler Lyons now.
Would have been a bad idea because he just knew he hung that breaking ball, so now he overthrows this pitch and no chance for Yachty to stop that one.
Rodriguez walked his first time up. Outfield is straight away. Ground ball hit to short. Peralta gloves and makes the play. Pirates pick up another run. It's 2-0 as we head to the fifth. Yadier Molina will lead it off, followed by Adams and Reynolds. We're in the fifth. 2-0 Pittsburgh here at PNC Park, which opened up back in 2001.
Not a bad idea to try and take him the other way, but they try to work in.
And Molina hits a fly ball out to left on the first pitch. Marte, one down.
Jeff Locke tries to go in on these right-handed batters so he can get them out of the way. And it's usually with something off speed. Got that one a little bit middle half in, and Yachty hit it well, but right at the left fielder.
I mentioned last night that this past offseason, Matt Adams had his number retired at Slippery Rock, number 25. He played his college baseball. And right now, Matt needs to get something going.
For his last 15, and his last time up, he got pitched severely in the kitchen.
That is a fair ball. Somehow it stays fair, and there's two down. Tonight, Fox Sports Live will get you caught up on NHL and NBA playoff action and today's Major League Baseball games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1 or see it simulcast right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Off day tomorrow, much needed for the club. Some in the traveling party are headed to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. And it's the Indians and Cardinals on Tuesday night. Lance Lynn and Carlos Carrasco. Carrasco 4-2. John Lackey will go against Corey Kluber, Cy Young Award winner, who is 0-5.
0-5, and Cleveland has lost every start he's made.
And then Thursday, the day game, Michael Wacha and Trevor Bauer, hard-throwing right-hander, used to pitch with Arizona. Rick and Al will have that series for you right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Walked Peter Borges to start this game. He was erased in a double play, and Hayward an infield single.
The fly ball lifted to right field. And making the play, the right fielder today to play all over the place, Sean Rodriguez. Cardinals go quietly here in the 5th. Difference maker, and oh, what a difference maker it's been. Lowest average margin of defeat this season. So the Cardinals, when they lose, they play in tight games.
You know, they've had 8 losses this year by a total of only 14 runs. So you're right, they're playing very close games. Right now, this team looks like it's playing the 20th game, the 20 in a row. Off day tomorrow, well needed, but then you got 16 straight games to deal with.
Jeff Locke, it's taken him 55 pitches to get through 5 innings, and he's allowed 1 infield hit. That's a base hit to right. Francisco Cervelli with a leadoff hit.
Matt Adams was well off the line. They're pitching him away. And good piece of hit. Not a bad pitch at all. Down and away. Just went with the pitch. With Adams off the line, it clearly into right field for the signal.
There's Jeff Locke, who struck out his first time up. Reynolds anticipating a bunt. He's in at third. Adams holding at first. Outfield shallow. Let's see how the Cardinals want to play this with Reynolds charging. Cervelli is not that great of a runner, so they may think about getting that lead man at second base.
Give you an out. Give you an out. Take it.
2 balls and no strikes. Two and one. There's the bunt. Molina to second. And the throw tailed on him. And everybody's safe. See that just tailing away from Peralta, covering the bag at second base.
So he gets the bunt down, doesn't get far enough. Now he picks it up, still in the dirt, and you can see exactly what you said, Dan. Ball tailing, kind of throwing a quick throw like that with a runner coming in. Peralta, one thing he could do is go up and try and reach for it and avoid the runner. Everything in just a little misstep right now.
So no sacrifice, and an error on Molina, his second. Now it's Josh Harrison, who's 0 for 2, and bunting. Let's strike one. Inning start with a base hit to right by Cervelli. The sacrifice situation with Locke that turns into an error for Molina. And now the 0-1 pitch to Harrison. 0-2. When it's going bad, sometimes you can't stop it. And Harrison tried to bunt on the first pitch. They take the bunt off on the second pitch. Now he's in the hole 0-2 as Carlos Villanueva is getting loose in the pen. Pitch count only at 75. Center field. Borges makes the catch. Cervelli tags up. The throw. And he's going to be out. He's off the bag. And now he is out. It's a double play. The Pirates may have just run themselves out of this inning.
Cervelli, you can understand him tagging up, and he would have been safe if his momentum wouldn't have carried him beyond the bag. Sees the fly ball up there, he'll tag up. It's an accurate throw from Borges, and he tried to go around the tag and then lost contact with the base, and the Cardinals get the double play. Now get the third out.
See Reynolds trying to deke the runner Cervelli on that throw. See the third base coach making sure Cervelli knew to get down. Watch here.
Sofield trying to tell him. I think that's be pretty hard to miss that, wouldn't it?
That's as animated as maybe I've ever seen.
Now, I know why Nick Lay was over at first base.
I mean, at that point, you know you better slide.
Well, you know you're not a fast runner either, and you should be thinking and anticipating you're going to slide. A little bit of the deke. Now he had the inside part of the bag open to him, but can't lose contact with the base.
So Tyler Lyons pitches out of this jam. And with that, it's 2-0 as we head to the 6th.
fly ball as he'll go back. He could hear the voices saying he's tagging up, so he had his momentum coming forward. Nice strong throw. The slide by Cervelli carries him off the bag. And yes, the Pirate third base coach, Rick Sofield, told him to get down. Look at also, we have a pitcher backing up a play. How often does that not happen? Loses contact with the base. Reynolds applies a tag, and what looked like a promising scoring opportunity for the Pirates fizzled away.
First outfield assist as a member of the Cardinals for Peter Borges. His last coming as a member of the Angels against Tampa Bay back in 2013. What's on tap? Cardinals and Cleveland Indians interleague play. Lance Lynn and Carrasco will hook up. Will come your way at 5:30. Rick Horton and Al Raboski will have the call. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Cardinals in Cleveland.
Only hit by the Cardinals was an infield single by Hayward.
55 pitches to get through 5. And the first pitch to start the 6th is taken for a ball. Hayward, Tyler Lyons, and Peter Borges. I'm sure Jim Hayes will give us an update on Jaime Garcia making a rehab start today at AAA Memphis. So the clock starts on Jaime to return to the big leagues. The 2-1 pitch and a slowly hit ball right side, and Hayward is out. By the way, the start times in the graphic, it's at 5:30. It's actually 4:30 St. Louis time.
Right.
4:30 St. Louis time. So early starts with the Cleveland Indians.
6 p.m. starts in Cleveland for the first 2 games of that series, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then a day game on Thursday.
Here's Tyler Lyons. I'll have you tuned in, Al.
I'm sure you will. In between baseball games, you got golf practice. No dance lessons.
Oh no, those are there too. Two down. Hey, a week from today, you can hit just like Matt Adams. You know how? By the way, I love that reaction, his home run. Jump, skip, boom, boom, boom. There he goes, Matt Adams. His bat day's coming up next Sunday.
And that reaction was after a walk-off home run against Pittsburgh, right?
No,
or was that the playoffs?
That was the playoffs against Kershaw.
Another reason to jump.
Cardinals were down 2-0, and he hits a 3-run blast to put the Cardinals on top. He said he has seen the replay of that 5 times. And when he was home, his buddies always wanted to put it on when he'd come over to their house and they'd be hanging out watching football, and he said, nope, if you keep putting this on, I can't come over. He said, I've seen it 5 times. A magical moment last year's postseason. There's a base hit to left for Peter Borges, and the tying run will come to the plate.
I'll bet you 40 years from now you'll see it a lot more than 5 times.
You bet. DraftKings players to watch: the RBI leaders in Major League Baseball. Stanton already with 29. Nelson Cruz 27. Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks 27. And Bryce Harper has had quite the week. Walk-off homer yesterday.
How about the Cardinals, the way they've been spreading RBIs around? 6 players with 15 or more RBIs for the Cardinals.
Wong may have tied it. Deep right. Get going. It's gone. sneaks over the wall in right field. Colton Wong, a 2-run homer, and we are tied at 2-2.
What is it with Colton and the Pirates? That is now his sixth home run of 16 career home runs. The sixth one he's hit against the Pirates, and they're all very meaningful. This one is before the 7th inning.
For the first time of his 6 home runs.
Right. Team was looking awfully flat, but boy, what a difference. A little base hit and then a 2-run blast. Cardinals are right back in it.
Now it's Holiday. So a 2-2 game here in the top of the 6th. Colton Wong, 4 home runs. He's now up to 17 RBIs. We were talking before the game. I think it's going to be interesting once Carpenter gets back. Where do you put Colton Wong? Where do you put Carpenter?
I think we all believe that Carpenter can hit any spot in the order. A lot of people think that Colton maybe down the road could be a leadoff hitter. That 2 spot may not be a bad spot for him either. It's the 3rd home run that Jeff Locke has allowed this season.
He was cruising along through 5 and has run into trouble this inning. He had gotten the first 2.
Right.
And then a base hit by Borges to left and a blast by Wong, and all of a sudden I feel like the Cardinals have woken up a bit. There's a walk.
And that's another game. What's that, 29 now that Holiday has reached base, all 29 games that he's played.
Peralta twice has flied out to center field. Mo's never stop improving. Major League Baseball on base percentage leaders, and Holiday is at .472. Serge out to visit with Jeff Locke.
Holiday now has tied Enos Slaughter, Hall of Famer, in 1938, reached the first 29 games. Reached base. Pujols is the leader. Back in 2008, Pujols led for 42 games.
It's amazing, isn't it?
3 times I think he's had 28 or more.
So 2 outs and a runner at first, and here's Johnny Peralta. Cardinals came into this inning with 1 base hit, an infield hit by Jason Hayward. Again, 55 pitches for Locke to get through 5. Got the first 2, seemed to be a harmless inning. But a base hit, home run, walk, and now Peralta. 0-2 the count. It'll be McCutchen, Marte, and Hart due up for Pittsburgh. Shift on here for Peralta. All kinds of room to the right side.
Locke's demeanor's kind of changed after that 2-run home run. The walk to Holiday, so jump on him now.
Fly ball lifted to left. Marte is there. Colton Wong's first home run against a lefty. 4th of his career. He's tied it up 2-2. Game of Major League Baseball and see it live in high definition. All you have to do is visit MLB.tv for all the details. Big inning here for Tyler Lyons. McCutchen, Marte, Hart. So you've got 3, 4, and 5, and now this game has been tied up thanks to Colton Wong. It's 2-2.
And McCutchen is hitless today, 2 plate appearances, but last 3 games he's come alive with a .462 average, 6 for 13.
th pick overall. The draft class that featured Justin Upton, number 1. Ryan Zimmerman was in that. Ryan Braun, Tulowitzki. Great draft class. Cardinals that year, their first round pick was Colby Rasmus. He was 28th. They also had Tyler Green, who was 30th. And Rasmus was the compensatory pick for the loss of Edgar Renteria to the Red Sox when he signed in 2005 with them. Shoots it into right center field. No one's going to get it. It's in the gap, and it's off the wall. McCutchen to second with a leadoff double.
Teammates just get you 2 runs that tie the ball game, and it's when you really got to bear down and stop them. Pirates off to a good start with a double. That good speed, and Ward just plays that ball well, gets it back in. And that's surprising that was his first assist. Yeah. Even as a Cardinal, he hadn't had one.
Had not had one.
And that may be it. Right-hander warming up. Is that Belial? We're so far away. The only thing you can see is red.
A Chevy called to the pen takes us to Matt Belial, the right-hander. That's it for Lyons, who pitches into the 6th. Brian McCann, Keith Olbermann, and Keith O'Brien on our Fox Sports Midwest crew. Belial, first pitch, fouled away. The Hyundai pitch arsenal as Belial comes in here into the bottom of the 6th.
See 56, 57, really fastball, the changeup, the slider, curveball. Talked about in our Toyota Open that Lyons has had trouble with Marte.
So does Belial right now. They're not going to run on Hayward.
And it's even more problems because that's 3 for 3 now against Palau. And because Corey Hart is 1 for 10 against Palau, we may have a pinch hitter. Set up away with a breaking ball. Didn't get it quite far enough out there.
So Gregory Polanco, the pinch hit for Hart.
Polanco is 0 for 1 against Palau.
First pitch to him. And there's a strike. Interesting that you don't see Pedro Alvarez in this spot. No lefty was getting loose for the Cardinals. Hart was at first base. Could have been just a straight up change in your lineup there.
And even more surprising because
the fly ball lifted to left. Holiday with the catch. Runner will tag. That's McCutchen and scores. Pirates back on top 3-2.
Alvarez was 2 for 5 against Palau, but Polanco gets the job done with a sac fly and breaks the 2-2 tie. Holiday did the right thing. You know, you don't want to throw home. You can't throw McCutchen out with his great speed, and you don't want to put another runner in scoring position. So concede the run, throw the ball into second base, and keep the double play in order.
Jordy Mercer is fly to left and also an RBI single in the fourth. 3-2 now in favor of Pittsburgh. Pitch out and Marte is staying put.
Book on Tyler Lyons, 5+ innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs. Strikes out 5, allows a home run, a wild pitch.
Lyle usually a very quick worker, and he was walking around the mound a little bit, fiddling with his spikes.
That's a good frame for a pitcher. It looks like he really works out heavily.
Fly ball to left. Holiday over, makes the catch. Marte back to the bag at first, and there's 2 outs. Right fielder Rodriguez will dig in. Grounded to short and walked. 0 for 1.
And what they'll do is they'll put Rodriguez at first base, Polanco in right field. So that's why they didn't bring in Alvarez. Could have done it either way.
First pitch is strike. You wonder if it will happen this year, but will these innings catch up to the bullpen of the Cardinals? Again, the bullpen having to cover now from the 6th inning on again.
The innings for some of the starters and also a number of appearances for the relievers.
Hanging breaking ball hit down the left field line, and that ball is foul. Home run distance, but foul. Just a long strike.
That's the way all pitchers look at it. Hitters always say, "Oh, I just missed it."
The ball was crushed.
Definitely had home run distance. The ball might have been higher than our own vantage point, which is hard to say.
Which is higher, here or Washington?
Boy, it's good. I would say probably Washington because the ballpark's bigger.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, 2 pitch.
Get a good slider down and away and get out of this inning.
Ooh, Molina could not hold on. That slider has not been sharp in this appearance.
Don't want it up there that high and not a lot of movement to it. Mentioned the long foul ball was a hanging off-speed pitch.
0-2 the count.
Like Yachty was giving a target up. He is going to do that, throw it up above the strike zone and get him to chase it.
Runner goes. Ball put in play. Wong ranging. Look at this. And he throws it away. Second Cardinal error today.
Well, we were excited when we saw him field that ball. Look, showed tremendous range. Look where Colton fields his ball, but then he throws it away. Not even close.
Check that now. 3 errors for the Cardinals.
I think I would have given a base hit on that. But you got to give the error to account for why they went to second and third.
So 2 outs, 2 on, second and third. Ground ball back to Belisle. And the Pirates will strand 2, but they pick up a run. The RBI by Polanco. 3-2 as we head to the 7th. Make-A-Wish Foundation. Jaime Garcia, 59 pitches today, 2 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, struck out 3. Mazda game summary, 3-2 in favor of Pittsburgh as we move to the top of the 7th. Tyler Lyons, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. Milwaukee struck out 5. Colton Wong, 1 for 3. Jeff Locke, 6 innings, and Gung, the third baseman, with a solo home run back in the 1st. Molina, Adams, and Reynolds. Yanni is grounded out to third. Flied out to left. Jeff Locke, only 76 pitches so far. There is activity in the Pirates' pen. Cardinals have a right-hander getting loose.
Looks like Mitch Harris for the Cardinals. You can't see the Pirate pen.
Fly ball into center, going back McCutchen. And he's got it on the track and then scales the wall.
And he gives it a ride. Ball traveling well today, and McCutchen with that great speed also plays extremely deep. He's able to haul it in and then go halfway up the wall. Better than running through it.
Now it's Adams. Matt is struck out. Locke has struck out 1. It was Matt back in the 2nd. Then he tapped one out in front of the plate and was thrown out by Cervelli. 0 for 2. No balls, 2 strikes.
A little funk right now. 0 for his last 16.
Here's a 1-2. Wind is picked up a little bit here at the ballpark. Breezy now on a gorgeous day for baseball. Blowing out towards left field. The 2-2.
See the flags. Just thinking Rod Carew would never let it get to 0-16. He would have dropped down a bunt about 10 at bats ago. Rod Carew, great hitter. 6 or 7 batting championships in his day, but always felt he'd never go in a prolonged slump because of his ability to bunt.
3-2 ground ball. Taken by Rodriguez. Out number 2. Plaza Tires, Fox Tracks.
Tailing action in on the hands, and
there's Mark Reynolds.
Only 3 hits allowed by for the Cardinals today. By the way, they have extended. They have an extra base hit in every game they've played this year.
Gung is about 4 or 5 steps off the line at third. The shift is on here for Reynolds. When the shift became popular, it seemed like the only time you'd see it was with a left-handed hitter.
Yes.
Now more and more seeing it with the righties. Rodriguez way off the line at first base, which makes it a tough play for a first baseman to get back to the bag.
Right. Now, even on a ground ball, like you say, in the infield, but Play Reynolds to pull in the infield. Pretty much straight away in the outfield.
3-1 to count. And Locke needs to be careful with this next pitch. You know, Reynolds could get his first hit against Jeff, and it would be the long ball to tie it up. In the air. Deep right center. McCutchen back, and it's off the top of the wall. Reynolds to second base. As he gave it a ride, almost knocked it out of the ballpark, and nearly a great catch by McCutchen.
Have to get a good look at this one. They set up away, and it's in the middle of the plate, and he takes it right back central. Plays so deep, it's kind of surprising that that ball was not caught. And I think if you talk to McCutchen, he would tell you that he probably should have made that play.
So runner in scoring position for Hayward.
One thing, if you play deep, you should be able to catch everything that stays in the park.
Hayward had the lone hit for a while for St. Louis until the 6th inning. It was an infield hit back in the 3rd. And he's also grounded out to first. Here's the 0-1. It's got to be tough. I'm not sure how Hayward or other players do it, but when they're hit in the face like he was, you have a ball come in like that, how do you not think about it?
You have to think about it. You got to get over that fear.
And he did go. I mean, a lot of teams pound him in, pound him up and in too.
Right, and you know, have the little ill effects on you. You have to overcome that. That's why it was almost interesting that Stanton got $325 million, and the Miami didn't really know if he had recovered from being beamed.
1-2 pitch. The ball scoots away, so Reynolds moves up to third.
I think they're waiting to see if the umpire called a strike. I mean, Hayward kind of made the motion like he thought it was a strike, but he didn't hear the call, so he stopped. Oh, he crossed him up.
He catches that. That might be a strike.
And you saw where Hayward thought it might have been, so they took a couple steps, but he didn't hear a vocally yelled a strike, so you know he stopped. Belly was looking for another pitch. You also noticed that the umpires are giving a lot more time. Reluctant, you know, they slower walking out to the mound, and then they'll let the guys still have a conversation before they break it up.
2-2 now on Hayward. I don't think there's any doubt if Cervelli's not crossed up. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th. That was a strike.
I agree.
Two pitch.
The lead that Reynolds is getting coming down the third baseline. On third baseman so far off the line that Reynolds is coming way down, and they can't throw. They can't stop it.
3-2 to Jason Hayward. Here it comes. He rips it into right, base hit. This game is tied. Jason Hayward. A big 2-out RBI base hit, and does it against the left-hander. 2 hits today.
You know, last year Jason Hayward hit under 200 against left-handers. This year he's off to a good start, hitting about 330, and he ties this ball game here. So a key RBI. That's number 8 for him, and he's swinging the bat a lot better the last couple, really close to 2 weeks.
That'll be it for Jeff Locke. Pirates tried to get him through 7. So Chevy called to the pen. Faster. Faster. Sports Midwest. That's Saturday, June 13th. Find out more. Sign up at stlouisblues.com.
It was Jared Hughes racing for a cure. Chevy called the bullpen. 18th appearance for Hughes. So the ERA gave up the sac fly to Carpenter last Saturday. That was the game winner. Made 3 straight scoreless appearances, including last night where he struck out 4 in a scoreless inning.
So the Cardinals have Jay and Cosma available on the bench. And Tony Cruz looks at a strike. Peter Borges, the Cardinals' leadoff man, is on deck. And that's a base hit into right. Hayward to second, now on his way to third. Tony Cruz off the bench. Runners at the corners and a chance for Peter Borges to put the Cardinals on top for the first time.
Yeah, Dan, there were times last year that Mike Matheny felt his best option was to use Tony Cruz as a pinch hitter, but it was reluctant to do so with him being the second catcher. But we've seen this year already several times he's willing to go with his backup catcher, bring him into a game. Could have the option to play him at third base and keep Tony Cruz, or first base, keep him in this game to protect himself.
Borges has walked, a single and a run scored. Across the diamond to Rodriguez for the out. So the Cardinals strand 2. We'll stay right here for the singing of God Bless America on this Mother's Day.
That this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. We got a tie ball game here as both teams are into their bullpen. Mitch Harris will be the third pitcher employed by Mike Matheny today. 7 appearances, you see 7+ innings, and he is not allowed a runner to score. Steve Lombardozzi will be the pinch hitter.
Mitch has been fun to watch, hasn't he?
That's a great story. I think one of the best stories in all of baseball. And Lombardozzi came to the big leagues this week. Been at AAA and hitting very well.
Seen him in Washington. Now property of the Pirates. 1 ball, 1 strike. Underway here in the bottom of the 7th, and we're tied up. It's 3-3.
Last one, 95 miles an hour.
Said his velocity came back late last year in August and September. He continued to throw then in the offseason to continue that trend of getting back to where he was when he was drafted. And so he's got the mid-90s fastball, a slider, and he mixes in a split finger pitch as well. I mean, that's nasty right there.
He's not your typical 29-year-old rookie, but great story. Goes to the Naval Academy. Second player to ever get to the big leagues from the Naval Academy.
The 2-2.
First one was back in 1921.
Now, I was watching the last 3 days being down in the clubhouse for extended lengths of time, and the media just goes right to Mitch Harris because it is such a good story, and he's very gracious with everybody, very gracious with his time. Not what you want to do there, though. Leadoff walk and a speedy runner in Lombardozzi.
Time to get a double play ball, but I'm sure he understands how, and it's what some people thought was kind of a feel-good story, but the Cardinals and John Mozeliak have said, no, he's earned this right, and the way he's pitched, he definitely has.
Well, the way Harrison's going now, back to the top of the lineup, you'd have to think bunt. Not swinging the bat well at all. Squares to bunt, pushes it foul. Strike 1.
Good point, Dan. Last year, remember, he was kind of like the super utility guy, but was so good that he'd end up on the All-Star team and was in the top 5 in MVP balloting. He was so valuable, Harrison. But slow start this year.
Gets the bunt down. Harris to first. Adams got back to the bag, and Lombardozzi in scoring position for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 7th. So they'll have a couple cracks at it now with Gung and McCutchen. Jaime Garcia 2 2/3 today. 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Pair of walks, 3 strikeouts, 72 pitches total. His day is through.
Biggest thing with him is how does he feel the next day or two.
The strike to Gung, who is struck out, grounded out to short, and a solo home run back in the first. And that's a base hit. Pirates will go back on top. The walk comes back to haunt Mitch Harrison, the Cardinals. He's finally allowed a run in the major leagues.
Stop him right there and got a chance to come back. Gung 2 for 4 today with 2 RBIs. He is now 7 for 16 with 2 home runs and facing the Cardinals. He's been impressive. Try to get inside on him, and ball doesn't quite get there, or he fights it off. Didn't hit it very well, but it was effective.
Now McCutchen fouls it back. Aggressive on the first pitch. Doubled back into 6, scored a run. Lined out to short and struck out. He's taking much better at bats this weekend as opposed to last.
Absolutely. And he kind of called himself out. Took blame for the team not doing well. Blamed himself. Did that earlier in the week, and his bat has been responding.
0-2 the count. McCutchen with a double now in 4 straight games, so he's starting to turn it on.
The bubblegum card doesn't lie. He's an exceptional hitter, and he'll end up that way.
Two. See if they want to start the runner now 3-2. That's Gung, the runner at first base.
Contact hitter, pretty good eye from McCutchen. He's not going to expand the zone.
He is running, and we'll do it again. Not a very big lead. I mean, if you could strike out McCutchen, you're talking about a pretty good shot at a double play with Molina throwing.
Absolutely. If you get the ball by McCutchen, I'd say he will be the double play. But Clint Hurdle's going to let his guy run because he thinks that McCutchen will either take ball 4 or put the ball in play.
Short lead at first again. There he goes, and the pitch taken for a ball. So second walk by Harris. Cardinals do have activity in the pen. Marte here. Tough to double up.
Villanueva and Schoop.
Marte with 2 hits. Infield hit off of today's starter Tyler Lyons, and then a base hit off Belisle back in the 6th. Also grounded out to second. Runners at first and second. And a fastball and a strike.
Mitch, 6'4", 215. He's almost too tall for some of the ships he was serving on.
Ground ball that's hit to short. Out at second. Man, is that a good turn by Colton Wong or what? Double play. Nice turn by Colton Wong to get the speedy Marte. Gung had the home run early on, and then moments ago this hit to put the Pirates back on top. 2-hit day. Couple of RBIs. 4-3. with Pat Paris. All right, thank you, Pat. This is Tony Watson now into the game to face Colton Wong. How about that turn by Wong? Again, I just don't think it can be overlooked. His defense getting better and better. Tony Watson, our Chevy Colt to the pin.
That was Marte running, too.
Exactly. Wong is homered here today. You know, the potential with a Colton Wong could be 20, 25 home runs, 30 steals, hit above 300. Great range defensively. I mean, it's unlimited.
You know, I mean, 30-30 might not be out of the question. He's got a tough customer, Tony Watson, right now, as hitters have hit just 175 against this tough left-hander.
The 2-1 pitch. Get on the hands. Well, if you go back to the 2012 season, the start of that year, Tony Watson leads all major league left-handed relievers in appearances. Now 231. His ERA in that time frame is 1.99.
He's the best left-handed reliever in the National League.
3-2. Holiday on deck, and then we'll see Johnny Peralta. The walk came back to haunt Mitch Harris, and you know that Watson doesn't want to do that here. And he just did. Leadoff walk, and the tying run is aboard for St. Louis.
You're right, Dan. There's nothing worse than walking the guy late in a game. Almost tell the opposition that you can have a chance. Watson has made 8 straight scoreless appearances, and has been scored upon just once in his last 24 games here at PNC Park, dating back to last year.
Let's see how aggressive the Cardinals want to be. You have Holiday, who many times will hit into a double play. You've got the speed of Wong. Many options here.
In my mind, you know, you've got to talk to Wong, and you've got to say, if you get your good jump, get that good jump, you got to take it. Watson aware of that, and it was, you know, the slide step to quicken his pace to the plate.
Oh-2 hit out of play. Holiday is hit into a double play. 4-6-3 back in the first. Grounded out to second and has also walked.
Holiday is just 2 for 12 against Watson, but he does have a home run.
It's the first walk that Watson issued to a lefty this year as Holiday strikes out. First on my list of left-handed relievers, I think Aroldis Chapman, then everybody else. Then I think Watson would be there.
Somehow I forgot Aroldis Chapman, but you wouldn't go wrong with either one of them. Chapman, you kind of sit there and put him as the closer, where Watson more the 8th inning guy.
Here's Peralta with 1 out. Johnny is 0 for 3, 3 flyouts, 2 to center, 1 to left. The Pirates can hold on. They'll be a game below 500. The Cardinals would suffer just their 9th loss. Still a long ways to go. Also would be their first series loss of the season. 2-0. But again, long ways to go.
John Jay has had the best success against Tony Watson. He's 5 for 12. Peralta is 0 for 5. That's the thing about Watson. You know, he's not just a left-handed specialist. He can get the righties out with ease.
Broken bat. A nice play made by the fan on the bat.
Hit an empty seat and bounced up, and a fan snared it.
The strike on Peralta. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, runner at first. Somehow, some way, Cardinals need to get Wong in scoring position.
Seen Chris Maloney's talking to Wong several times, and don't want to run into an out.
And a double play. 4-6-3. Is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Little walkway down by the Allegheny River. We saw the boats out there last night getting set for fireworks. Kevin Segrist into the game. It's 4-3 Pittsburgh in the home half of the 8th. Here's Gregory Polanco. Picked up an RBI back in the 6th, coming off the bench.
Broke the 2-2 tie. Now Segrist needs to retire the Pirates, get back on offense. Still not, the velocity still isn't quite where it was in 2013, but pitching much better.
You've seen the pink bats. This is a red bat being used by Polanco. Many of the players wearing the pink wristbands, the coaches, the managers as well, for breast cancer awareness. on this Mother's Day. 1-2 to count.
Nike sleeves.
Sunglasses as well.
Yeah, pink ones. Take those home.
A fly ball lifted to left. Battling the sun. It's Holiday. And he puts it away for the out. Here's Jordy Mercer. Melanson is getting loose in the pen for Pittsburgh, their closer. Cardinals will have Molina, Adams, and Reynolds due up. Reynolds, by the way, down at third, even with the bag and in a few steps. There's Mark Melanson. Picked up the save in Game 2 last night.
It's been April 25th. Last time he had a save opportunity prior to last night.
Here's the 0-2. Good start here for Segrist in the 8th. He's gotten the first 2 with a fly out, now the strikeout. Sean Rodriguez at the plate. Move from right field to first base. On today, a single, grounded out to short, and also walked. Long fly ball. Right center. Hayward can't get there. It's off the base of the wall. Once again, Rodriguez coming through against St. Louis. Big insurance run out there.
7 for 15 against the Cardinals. Dad, a minor league manager in the Cardinals farm system, and he should be very proud of his son, the way he's battled the Redbirds last weekend and again this weekend. Very versatile with his ability to play all over the diamond, too.
One-run lead. Rodriguez, runner at second base. And now Francisco Cervelli. Strike one.
I find it kind of amazing how, how particular players are with their bats, that so many guys use the pink bats. First thing you would think of is it would be inferior wood. You aren't getting the same wood you're accustomed to, but
Two and one.
About the comfort level on the shoes too. You just pick these up and put them on the first day and willing to play with them. 1974 is when the Cardinals always had black shoes, and then we got Adidas red shoes, and we had to wait about 3 weeks before Lou Brock would give us the permission that he felt comfortable enough wearing the new red shoes that were about half the weight of the shoes we had. And every day Reggie Smith would say, "Lou, can we wear them? Can we wear them?"
I'd listen to Lou. If he says, hey, the shoes don't feel comfortable.
It's also the year that he ended up with 118 steals.
Exactly.
To set the record. But it was funny. Every day, Lou would wear them in batting practice. Can we wear them tonight?
So what got him over the hump?
Well, he finally broke them in. I guess enough to where he felt comfortable.
The 2-2 pitch. Cervelli with a fly ball. Right field. Hayward has it. That sends us to the ninth. The scoreless frame by Segrist. It's 4-3. The Cardinals come back again. Converted his 4th straight save opportunity last night against the Cardinals. As Al told you, first since late April, which was at Arizona. 55 saves with the Pirates, 9th all-time in club history. Bill Landrum is next with 56. 13-1 when leading after 8. The Buccos. And Yadier Molina will lead it off. Molina today is 0 for 3. Base hit. Tying run is aboard.
There you go. Cardinals, by the way, are 0-8 when trailing after 8.
You know, you have the short bench. You've already used Tony Cruz, and this would be a time on the road you'd think about pinch running for Yadier Molina, but you can't do that now.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You know, you don't even know if you have John Jay available to pinch hit.
Matt Adams love to break out right here. Tying run is aboard in Molina. First pitch, a strike. Cardinals have hit into 2 double plays today. The middle of the lineup has been quiet. Adams has struck out. Twice he is grounded out. One ball, 1 strike.
Lanson has good numbers against most of the Cardinals. Adams is 0 for 4. Reynolds on deck is 1 for 6, but that one is a home run.
Takes a ball, 2-1. The do factor. Will it happen right here? Hitters count 2 balls, 1 strike. He represents the go-ahead run. Stays away again, 3-1. Melanson looking back at our home plate umpire, Jordan Baker, unhappy with this strike zone.
Crowd getting a little restless too.
The 3-1 pitch. Adams with a fly ball. Center field. McCutchen is there. Now it's Mark Reynolds. All kinds of room to that right side. The shift is on. They guard the line. Young, the third baseman, about 3 or 4 steps off the line and deep, playing back. Outfield straight away and deep. Reynolds off the glove and into shallow center. A base hit. Mercer almost came up with it.
After last night, the Pirates turned the first triple play, first in Major League history, a 4-5-4. Yachty can't, get caught with a line drive double play, so he can only advance 1 base. And even if that ball would have went through, McCutchen playing so deep, they would have cut it off, and I don't think they could have had any better than runners at first and second. John Jay will pinch run. Maybe tells you about him swinging the bat.
Hayward 0 for 2 against this closer. The tying run at second base. Go ahead run at first. Inside to Hayward. Jason with an RBI base hit against the lefty back in the 7th inning that scored a run. 8th RBI this year.
Hayward looking a lot better last couple weeks.
1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pete Kozma has moved to the on-deck circle. Then at that point, your bench is through.
It's gone. And mentioned that Jay was 2 for 5 off of Melanson, so maybe an indication he can't swing the bat today. Career 300-plus hitter against Pittsburgh.
The 1-2 to Hayward. Long look. Inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals have 2 right-handers throwing in the pen just in case.
Thought Hayward was going to call timeout because he just stood frozen for so long.
The 2-2.
Pull one down the right field line.
The 2-2. The final hope now, Pete Kozma.
Good location, bottom falling out of it. He 0 for 4 against Melanson. .299 career with runners in scoring position.
In on his hands for strike 1. A spot like this too, you think about the outfield arms, all are plus. Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco, and also the speed of Molina would be a factor you think about too.
Yeah, they play deep, but Molina out there at second base. He's got a pretty good secondary lead. Out by middle infielders back on the grass.
0-1. Knockdown, race to the bag, and the Pirates win the game and they win the series. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live is coming up with Pat Paris and Rick Horton. They'll have all the stats and highlights. That's coming up on the postgame show.
The team looked a little bit like they had played in their 20th straight day. They get an off day tomorrow. Hopefully that'll energize them. They'll come out and be ready to play on Tuesday in Cleveland.
Budweiser player of the game, Jung Ho Gong, 2 for 4 with a solo home run, a single, and a pair of RBIs. So Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live coming up. All the highlights. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Pirates hold on. 4-3.